ask yourself the damn question. Is winning the only thing to you?
Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare breathe. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
The Star Fantasy League Show puts you in control of your own team. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, and co-host SFL CEO Zach Stanley and Nick Steblenko. The Star Fantasy League Show is on the air now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on 105.5 The Team in Rochester. I am your host, Jonathan Sprung, joined, as always, by Footer? I'm so confused. What? I never say that. What's going on right now?
It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
No.
As always, by Footer's Universe.
That's literally the first time I've ever said, as always, by Footer and his ridiculous universe.
Well, I have been on the show every day this week. I hosted for you earlier this week and did an awesome job, so... But I did relinquish the seat back to you, so.
Yes, because as you heard in the beginning, it is my show. We're not just here, you and me. We're actually joined by Jason Gringer, who, you're back. What happened?
I'm back. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, we now have like a 7-man rotation on this show. I think it's a lot less than that number, but I'm going to say it's a 7-man rotation. So you like to actually work for a living. Us on the show, we just carve out time from our day to not do work.
Yeah, I like to do stuff during the day.
Like work
stuff.
Yes. No,
yeah.
we play.
So you're like the 7th inning, like left-handed guy who comes in for the one pitch.
Yeah, you're a lefty specialist, then you go away for a long, long time.
Yeah, I used to be the closer. Then I was a long reliever. Then I guess I'm just a lefty specialist. I'm like Jeremy Affeldt.
Oh my God, we're actually making references to a World Series. Is that series over yet?
I believe it ended last night.
Oh, yeah, it did end. I was lucky enough to be at a sports bar, completely accidentally, by the way. Didn't know Game 7 was last night. That shows you how much I actually care about these two teams.
Yeah, I was watching basketball, and I then realized that I think Game 7, the World Series was on, and I flipped over, and I saw Madison Bumgarner was in. This is like the 7th inning, and I saw he was dominating, and that was pretty much it for the
Yeah,
Royals.
I was saying that's about it. At that point, you're like, oh, he's in. They're going to probably win this game. Yep, and he did.
Yeah, they didn't even bother bringing their closer. Just give it to Bum.
Threw 4 pitches the whole series.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's pretty amazing.
Wait, who threw 4 pitches?
The closer for the Giants threw 4 pitches the whole World Series.
That's really impressive. Well, considering, 3 of their 4 wins involved, Madison and Bumgarner going insane.
True, but that's still pretty crazy.
Yes.
Even to come in for 1 save opportunity to throw 4 pitches.
That is true. So somehow we managed to talk World Series. Obviously, the MVP was Madison Bumgarner. I think he pitched he obviously had 3 wins in the series, 5 innings this one. He pitched a complete game in a game. I think he had 21 innings, 1 earned run, 4 hits. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, he had something like 57 innings this postseason.
How is that possible?
It's a record. He passed Kurt Schilling, your boy.
Wait, that was the bloody sock year, wasn't it?
Bloody sock year.
That's just ketchup. He spilled some ketchup. Leave him alone.
Rubbed it on there.
Yeah, probably.
He threw 170 pitches in less than a week, which is pretty crazy.
It's awesome.
I mean, come on. When you know your season is over either way, you pitch as much as you humanly can. That's why Pedro was like, I'm going to keep pitching until I die.
He's country strong. Madison Bumgarner.
Oh, stop it.
Well, Buster Olney's after the game, he goes, so how do you feel right now? You tired at all? And he goes, dude, I just won the World Series. That's what his response was. He goes, yeah, I'm going to be tired tomorrow, but I just won the World Series.
He's like, I won't be sleeping until Sunday.
I'm going to chug 4 more beers.
Yeah, probably. Wouldn't be surprised
He
if
probably
did that.
doubled it.
All right, we need to move on from the World Series that nobody cares about, right? Anybody care about that World Series?
No.
If the Royals won, I'm sure even a lesser part of the population
It was a
would
pretty
care.
good World Series.
Sure.
3
They won
titles
7.
in 5 years is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is impressive, but honestly, could care less. It's sad.
Yeah. NBA's here.
Yeah.
NFL's here.
That is true. Today we're not going to have a show tomorrow. No, you're gonna miss us. So tune back in on Monday for the Star Fantasy League show's triumphant return. I'm sure Footer will somehow be involved.
I'll weasel my way into it.
Yeah, you'll just show up and we'll feel really bad and put you on the show.
Probably.
So today we're doing the weekend fantasy focus. Normally we do this on Friday's show, but we're going to give you the value plays of the week on StarFantasyLeagues.com, the weekend winners, and we're also going to do a nice a boxing match. You bring your gloves, Jason?
I did not. I wasn't informed. I'm
All
just
right,
going to have
sorry.
to brass knuckle it.
Wait, he's bare knuckling it? That's unfair.
No, whatever. We'll do UFC. I'll give you protection for your knuckles, but you guys can beat the crap out of each other. It's fine. Okay. Right? You guys cool with that?
We've got some tape.
Yeah, before
Some
we
Scotch tape.
Yeah, before we get into Value Corner, which is where we give you our value plays of the week on StarFantasyLeagues.com, we're going to talk about the Thursday night matchup very quickly because Okay, Nick and Zach aren't here to go, oh, it's a divisional matchup. Yes, thank you. Every single Thursday night game is a divisional matchup. They're switching to NFL Network exclusively now, and they give them a crap-tastic game.
Really? It's not on CBS anymore?
Nope.
Only the first half of the season.
Do we even have to mention the teams? They're in the NFC South. They suck. That's the exact thing I want to say.
Well, that
about
could be
this.
any team basically down there.
That's what I'm saying. And interchange any of the 4 teams in this division.
This is the second time we've had NFC South.
Have we really? Well,
Tampa
it
Bay
was Tampa.
Falcons.
It was the
Remember
other
that
2
one?
teams. That's true.
They all stinker.
Yeah, so it's Carolina and New Orleans. These 2 teams suck. They don't see. I mean, okay, Carolina squandered that game against Seattle last week. They should have won. Seattle played horribly in that game and somehow managed to eke it out.
Yeah,
Carolina
that
just
upset
hasn't. They got blown out by Green Bay. They've won some questionable games. I don't have much faith in either of these teams.
Well, New Orleans looked decent last week. I mean, I guess they looked better than decent.
For the first time of the season, though, that's the point.
They were at home, though.
Yep.
Which
This
is a
game,
big
yeah, they're
point.
0-4 on the road, and this is a road game at Carolina.
They did blow the road game against Detroit as well. So
Detroit's another team I have absolutely no idea what they're doing. No, I have no. Are they good? Are they horrible? Are they somewhere in
6-2
between?
right now.
I know, but the kicker issues mean they could have been. They could have like 8
7-1,
wins. Yeah,
yeah.
7 or 8 wins. They're kind of all over the place.
Well, now they've got that drunk Prater back there.
Oh, that's not very
Him
nice.
and Baumgartner can hang out together, right?
Oh, that's also not very nice. All right, so any thoughts on this game tonight other than the fact that it's probably going to be sloppy and nobody really
Yeah, I think it's
care?
going to be pretty high scoring, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, both defenses are pretty bad.
Yeah.
No, Carolina showed up last week. Finally.
Finally, I guess.
Yeah,
But
8 weeks in the season, so first 7 weeks they were nowhere to be seen. But, I mean, I think it's going to be a big game. Both teams are really bad against the wide receivers. They're 4th and 5th, respectively. So I think Kelvin Benjamin and Brandon Cooks, who actually finally broke out and had a nice week last week, I think both of them might have good games this week.
Well, luckily the guaranteed prize pool contests on starfantasy.com do not include this game. If you're playing cash games tonight, join the site, play some games, play against your friends, do all that good stuff. But we're going to get into the meat and bones of Week 9.
you didn't get into the big news of D'Angelo Williams is back.
Who cares?
Tonight. He's
No,
starting.
Nobody cares.
No.
I could literally care less.
Pink dreads are back, baby.
Great. Anytime there's a name that says RB next to it and it says Carolina, I just immediately ignore it.
Yeah, I picked up Jonathan Stewart a couple weeks ago.
I'm sorry.
He had a decent game last week. But
Again, I'm sorry for you having to own a member of the running back core
Yeah.
of Carolina.
Yeah, that's what you get for drafting Adrian Peterson, I guess.
Oh, no, I drafted Adrian. Oh, oops, you're
Just
done.
got to keep sifting through the waiver wire.
Yeah, that sounds about right. All right, let's sift through some more waiver wire fodder because we're talking value corner, and a lot of the guys that you pick up on your waiver wire are probably going to appear in value corner today on starfantasy.com. And we're going to start off with what position, Footer, since everybody else likes to not know how the show is.
I believe it's quarterback, and I think I got that question
Wow, you
right.
actually got that right. You must have been playing Sports Jeopardy before the show.
I actually was.
Oh, that is true. You were actually doing that, weren't you?
I was.
Oh,
I
that's-
plan on being in the show very soon. I'm coming to see you, Dan Patrick.
What?
He hosts the show on Crackle.
Why are we advertising for this?
I don't know.
Are you getting paid?
No?
Don't ever mention that again. I want that advertising, that sponsorship dollar. Sponsored by Taco Bell. No, I don't get anything from there. They don't give me free stuff. We're talking the quarterback position for value. I have a semi-weird one. I want whoever is starting against Minnesota for Washington.
Yes.
I want
RG3.
RG3 McCoy. That's what I want.
Well, it's going to be RG3.
Okay. But it's RG3. So if he happens to
That's true.
stub his toe in the shower on Saturday morning, then I want Colt McCoy still.
Well, you could play both of them on Star Fantasy Leagues.
Actually, you could. We do have a 2-quarterback format, but if you did that, you are done. I saw somebody jokingly post on a forum that they always make one lineup every week with Mike Vick just in case. That might be the worst advice anyone has ever given, right?
Well, I guess this week he's starting.
Yes, okay. But
He is a minimum, too.
Okay.
I talked about him yesterday, and I got crapped on about it.
No, to be fair, I do have him listed, but again, I bring up conversation points on this show. That's the point of the host. I'm going to say Mike Vick's name, and you guys are going to tell me why I'm an idiot for mentioning Mike Vick's name. Or you like him. I don't get it.
He runs a lot.
Okay. Kansas City has a pretty
All right, let's
formidable
move on. He
defense.
runs a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
He turns the ball over.
Correct. That's why I love Kansas
But he
City's
gets it back a
defense.
lot for it.
Great.
So...
He fumbles and recovers the
All
ball.
right. I can't make a point for Michael Vick.
I mean, to be fair, this week there are not a lot of minimum price quarterbacks or around that. Like the Hoyer matchup, you could take Hoyer and Glennon if you really hate yourself. But I honestly don't like either of them this week.
Yeah.
Doggone it. Let's move on from Michael
What about?
Vick,
I mean,
all right?
Dalton's kind of down there. He's a decent matchup against Jacksonville.
Yeah,
He's
I feel like
15,000.
I feel like since there's so many teams on bye, we're gonna keep mentioning the same matchups the entire show. So if you don't like hearing about how bad Jacksonville is, just turn your radar off right now because we're gonna be mentioning a lot of people on Cincinnati, a lot of people on Kansas City.
And that's who I like. Alex Smith is just about 1,000 cheaper. I think he might be the play of the week. For
Wait, hold on.
QB.
I'm getting a call from Seth Young. Sorry, it's a text. He says Alex Smith sucks at football. That's all it says.
He usually does, but not this week.
No, I personally I love Alex Smith. He's not a fantasy quarterback, but anytime you're against the New York Jets and nobody in this booth can tell you more than one player on that defense or on the secondary, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, another guy could be Nick Foles. He's only at 16,000.
Okay.
I like the Eagles this week.
Yeah, but we
He had a pretty good week last week, too, against a tough Arizona defense.
He did.
We talked about this, though. Do you really trust a quarterback who's not all that proven against that guy who eats quarterbacks for breakfast?
Well, as long as the line's doing their job.
But also, don't forget, Clowney should be playing in this game as well at 100. Oh, hopefully at 100%.
Well, yeah, he played last week, right? I didn't really hear much of
Yeah,
him.
first game back.
Yeah.
Still, more toys for that Houston defense. I don't think Philadelphia is going to be explosive. I mean, they could be fine. They get Darren Sproles back this week as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm pretty much avoiding this team.
Really?
I am trying to. Yeah.
all right.
I don't know. And they're on the road. I don't like road teams.
Well, it's kind of in a dome. It's kind of like the same situation they were in last week in Arizona. I think they're about the same.
I'm just going to keep making noises. All right. I have one more guy written down, and it's because the other side of this matchup, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Anybody interested in Ryan Fitzpatrick?
No.
He's one of the least he's one of the lowest priced guys outside this range. I had to mention him because Philadelphia, I assume that's going to be a nice little defensive matchup for him.
Yeah, they've been relying on Foster a lot more than Fitzpatrick, so I think Foster's going to have a real nice day.
Yeah, there is a reason that Foster is currently the highest priced player positional player playing this week on StarFantasy.com. He is killing. He's like 21,000 now.
Yeah. Philly's defense and special teams has scored in a lot of weird ways this year, so I don't trust Fitzpatrick in this matchup.
Yeah, Philly's defense, they're 21st against the run, but they haven't faced a top 9 run offense this year, so they could be in for a tough one here. Foster could be going off.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that when we talk about weekend winners. I think despite the fact that Arian Foster is insanely expensive, I still like him a lot this week.
Not a bad play.
All right, we'll talk more about Value Corner when we come back after the break, and we have weekend winners and some Would You Rather. And you listen to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
The Star Fantasy League Show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now. Okay, fantasy sports fans.
There's a letter in your mailbox.
Time to dig into Donald's mailbag for your questions and comments.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
Jump in the game. Send your questions and comments to the Star Fantasy League's team by tweeting at SFL Show.
We are back, and you can tweet us at SFL Show if you want to be part of Donald's mailbag or Footer's Universe at midnight. Not a real thing. Don't actually tweet us about that.
When do I get a mailbag?
You're here like once every 6 months. You don't get a mailbag. That's Jason Gringer, if you're wondering who that random voice you haven't heard in a while is. No mailbag today. No show on Friday. We're just like falling apart at the seams, aren't we? I leave for 2 days, and you managed to get a show canceled on a Friday, Footer. What did you do? He doesn't even know. What did you do?
Speechless. He doesn't want to admit to his fault.
That's why we got our show canceled on Friday. He's speechless when I asked him what happened.
Great radio, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we're back. No, we've been back the whole time.
Really? Oh, okay.
Shoot. All right. So before the break, we were talking about Value Corner on StarFantasyLeagues.com. These are the plays that get you. They save you some money, so you can put in the weekend winners that we're going to talk about in the later part of the show, right?
Unless we have a value weekend winner.
I actually do have a couple of those as well. But whatever, we'll talk about it. Currently, we're talking about Value Corner at the running back position since I mentioned some really terrible quarterback ones. We're going to start us off, Jason. Who do you got?
I've got Denard Robinson. That's probably an obvious choice.
The shoelace.
6,151. Going up against the 23rd ranked defense there.
Yeah, poor Cincinnati. Remember when they were a good defense, like, the last 3 to 5 years, and that kind of has dropped off?
Yeah, the last 4 games they've allowed quite a bit of production for the opposing running backs. There's a decent matchup there. Also, you still got Jerick McKinnon down there around 6,000, almost 7,000.
Yeah, I'm liking these really unproven. Usually, you don't like to go with these unproven guys that are kind of a little bit, they're kind of fodder basically. But in daily, to save you some money, yeah, guys like Jerick McKinnon, Denard Robinson, surprisingly. Do you guys trust Andre Williams? Rashad Jennings is out yet again. They're playing against Indy. I suspect this is going to be the game that's just out of control scoring. I can see 60 points in this game.
I kind of can see a blowout.
That's what I'm saying,
Colts.
but still, I think there's going to be some garbage points for the Giants.
Yeah, it depends if they get down early, if they're going to be running a lot still.
That's true.
But he's really the only option, unless you want to say Peyton Hillis.
Don't ever say Peyton Hillis' name. No, don't do it.
All right. So, yeah, he might be catching some passes out of the backfield, some dump downs. He could be a decent option. And it's Monday night, so you've always got that guy going for you in the last game of the week.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
bad.
I had all 3 of those guys as value options. Another one I'd like to toss in is Jonas Gray from New England.
Yep.
5,300, playing against Denver, who's actually, their defense is pretty good, but it looks like after what we saw the last couple of weeks that Gray is going to be that guy filling in for Stephen Ridley based on the snap count. So, you never can trust the Bill Belichick offense if you're a fantasy owner. But if you're looking for value, I don't think it's a bad
so hold
option.
on. If you can't trust Bill Belichick's offense for fantasy, you should probably draft James White then, right? Guy hasn't played anything at all, which means he's good for 150 and a touchdown.
I think
right?
that was a shot at Zach, wasn't it?
No. This is literally, I don't know what the hell Bill Belichick's doing.
Oh,
he could do anything.
He said on Monday's show James White was his boy, so.
Yeah, he did. I believe he did draft him quite a bit this season, in season long, which you can also draft on StartFantasy.com. By the way, have I mentioned that 100,000 times in the show?
Yes.
You might have.
Yeah, I have.
I would never draft a New England running back in season long, but in daily, I think they're a pretty good option.
That is true. What about this whole Baltimore situation? Pittsburgh can't really stop anything at all. We've seen that the past couple weeks. They just like to give up points. Forsett may or may not be healthy, which I've seen he's missed practice a couple days this week. Lorenzo Taliaferro, backup for the team, who's actually played pretty well when he's gotten a chance, 67-20.
Yeah, I wonder if Pierce will actually dress if Forsett's out. He's been a healthy scratch the last couple of games. It's kind of a weird situation there.
Yeah, they're putting him at the back of the line, basically. Who knows? He could come in and be the guy that gets all the carry, which is just ridiculous.
Taliaferro vultured 2 touchdowns last week from Forsett. So I think, from what I've been hearing and reading, I don't think they're really huge on Forsett even being the starter long term. It looks like Taliaferro is probably going to be the option after this year, but short term it's going to be Forsett. So I like Taliaferro as a play this week for value corner or value running back.
Perfect. No, you were right. It's value corner. You can say it. I didn't trademark it. You're allowed to say the word.
What's the salary coming in at?
For Taliaferro, 67-20.
Not bad.
It's around the same guys: Andre Williams, Jerick McKinnon, Denard Robinson.
If he vultures 2 more touchdowns again, that's totally worth it, right?
Oh,
All right. I got 2 guys. We're going to mention this game 100 times the rest of the show. New England and Denver are playing. Wow, surprise. I bet you they haven't mentioned that Brady and Manning are playing again.
16th straight,
Who are those
16th
guys?
time, I
Yeah,
think.
I don't really know. But there's running backs in this game that are probably going to get some production aside from Jonas Gray. Shane Vereen, Ronnie Hillman, either of them interesting for you. They're both under $10,000.
I like Hillman. He seems to be the featured guy there. Even when Ball comes back, it's going to be very interesting. But I think everybody that drafted Ball, I think you drafted Ball.
Yep, couple leagues.
Pretty high.
I stayed away. Very much a stay away from me.
Yeah.
He was never my top option. He was always the second back that I ended up drafting. So I was.
Oh, you got him coming around the bend in the second round.
So I was all right with that. They pretty much said all week he's going to play. Then he came out today, he didn't practice, and he's not, expected to play. So it's confusing because Juwan Thompson obviously last Thursday vultured a couple touchdowns. We were talking about Ronnie Hillman, I think last Friday, how he basically had 5 opportunities to score.
Yep, and got them all vultured.
Yes, so Hillman's the obvious guy, and I think the only option in Denver at this point.
He's been putting up some pretty good numbers against good defenses as well, which has been surprising. So Patriots are another pretty good defense.
Their run defense is suspect after losing Mayo
and Chandler Jones.
Yeah,
up the middle. They just like when they lost Vince Wilfork last season, they went from being one of the better run defenses to just if you lose your 2 guys in the middle, you're kind of screwed for run defense.
Should be a high scoring game though.
Yeah, correct. That's why I'm going to when we talk about weekend winners, they're going to either be from New England or Denver most likely. Yeah. Most positions. All right, let's move on to a value corner for wide receiver position. What a surprise. I have another person from this game. I think Brandon LaFell at 10,195. He's starting to creep up as a favorite target for Tom Brady.
Which means he's probably going to get like one catch this week.
Correct. One catch for 7 yards.
Yes.
And 2 touchdowns. Wait, how's that possible?
I don't know. I think Julian Edelman's now priced below LaFell, I saw.
And he's also getting less production.
Yeah.
Pretty much every game.
He also could blow up one of these games and get 11 catches or whatever, those games. But, yeah, LaFell's a decent option. He's been killing it lately. That's all I have to say about that.
That's all? You don't have any other value wide receivers?
I do have a few. I do have a few around 7,000. Doug Baldwin against the Raiders, 7,000.
How do you know who to go for on this Seattle wide receiving course?
He's had 18 targets the past 2 games, so he's definitely getting. Depends if Seattle gets up big and if they're going to be running the ball a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Oakland is one of the worst teams against the run, so I feel like Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch are going to have huge.
You
games.
could take off the word against the run and just say Oakland is one of the worst.
They're not that bad actually against the pass.
They're just
like
bad.
Middle of the road.
They're
Against
just
the
bad.
run, they're one of the worst.
Yeah, another guy around 7,000, Michael Floyd. Had a big goose egg last week.
Yeah.
But going up against Dallas, he's only 7,600 now. He's due. He could break out for one of these big games. And Cordell Patterson.
Oh, stop it with this Cordell Patterson crap. He's done. He's
7,900.
toast.
He had a good game last week.
Toast. Get him out of here.
He's had his best couple games the last couple weeks.
Yay.
So. I got a couple guys. Can I toss in real quick?
Of course you can.
All right. I didn't know if you're going to go back around yourself.
I got so many names for wide receiver this week. It's going to be interesting. This is one where I can find some value.
I really like Keenan Allen this week at 8,500.
Again, who?
Had his best game last week, caught a nice touchdown. I think he's actually turning things around.
I believe Nick called that, by the way. Nick said Keenan Allen's going to have a nice little game.
Yeah, they're going up against Miami, who's not the best defense in the league. So I like Keenan Allen. I also like your boy Martavis Bryant at 7,100.
Love him.
Huge game last week. Caught like a 53-yard bomb, I think.
Yep.
Had 2 touchdowns. He has 3 touchdowns.
To be fair, everyone in that game had 2 touchdowns. Everyone.
That's true.
Yes.
I think Hines Ward caught 2 touchdowns in that
He
game.
did.
Too.
Yeah.
Pretty
James
sure.
Harrison might have had one as well. So.
No, he doesn't play wide receiver. No.
Except Lance Moore. He's dead.
I don't. He's not even part of
Can you really say
his corpse.
who?
Yeah.
There.
No, I know who Lance Moore is.
No, that's
he
a
plays
good
in the
one,
Steelers. I'm allowed to say I know
All
who
right,
he
fair
is.
enough.
Come on now.
And if Reggie Wayne doesn't play, possibly Dante Moncrief.
Correct. Yeah, he absolutely.
4,600.
Did you hear? Hold on. He was the guy that was compared to the next Marvin Harrison. Did you hear that? Coaching staff in Indy was like, we drafted him to be the next Marvin Harrison.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
They like his
Ew.
athleticism. I heard he's a pretty athletic freak.
He was torching this Pittsburgh secondary. I keep liking this one guy, Odell Beckham. His name just keeps coming up. Indy clearly got torched last week.
ODB.
I honestly think Odell Beckham is the number one option for the for the Giants, that other crappy team that plays in New Jersey. 87.15 might be a little more expensive than you want to spend for a guy that could be nothing. But how about John Brown? You mentioned Michael Floyd, but it seems like Carson Palmer's moved on to his new favorite target, John Brown. Touchdowns, I think he has like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's turned into the new deep threat there. Yep. He's also catching quite a few passes across the middle. Yeah, Floyd doesn't play. He's kind of having some injury, his knee there too. Brown could definitely be a nice option.
Speaking of injuries, though, he might be back this week. AJ Green, his price is under $13,000, and he's playing Jacksonville. If he suits up, that means he's good to go. Put him in.
Why would he even suit up for this game?
Why would anybody? Why is Andy Dalton playing in this game?
Well, I'm concerned that Gio might not play.
Yeah, okay.
I've got him on like every team.
Okay, if Gio doesn't play, if AJ Green doesn't play, Mohamed Sanu, please. Although he's expensive, he's not really a value play. But all right, so that's that.
Jeremy Hill could be a nice option.
That's also true at running back. Yeah.
Yes.
If Gio, I think Gio. They say he was back at practice today.
He's had a shoulder concern. He's had ribs.
He had the same thing last week. He was questionable till like Wednesday, Thursday, and then he went off of that. And so it was fine. So
all right, let's quickly talk about some value corner tight ends before we move on to weekend winners.
Vernon.
Yeah.
Vernon Davis, 6,800.
Look, homerism again. How many catches has he had in the last 4 weeks?
I
6
don't know.
total? I think it's 6.
They're coming off the bye. He should be healthy now. Zach Ertz, 7,600, and Jordan Reed, 7,500. I like both of them.
Man, you named guys I don't even have. I have none of those guys on my list.
Well,
I didn't have any of those either. So
I have cheaper guys. I got
Really?
Tim Wright, who has a touchdown in 3 straight games, 5,500.
Yep.
I think everybody's going to score for New England. I think they could put up like 40-plus points in this game. I can see it. I have Jason Witten. It's my flashing lights Arizona tight end alert again. Anybody going up against that's a tight end or a capable tight end, Jason Witten's capable, 6,200. My boy Larry Donnell's 9,700. He's been playing pretty well.
Witten's gotten 2 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks, so I think he's really starting to turn the stretch.
I think he killed Gavin Escobar. I'm not really sure.
He probably did.
I think he did.
Even though his name's Escobar, it's a really cool last
that's
name.
a bad idea.
I got one guy, Lance Kendricks, 6,300. He's 200 cheaper than the starter Jared Cook. He's got 4 touchdowns on the season. Cook has 0.
I don't think I trust that matchup.
The Niners' secondary has been banged up.
That is true. I
Their
think
whole
everybody in the middle,
defense is.
everybody in the middle of that defense seems to be banged up, right? Who's even healthy on that team?
Willis, I think, should be back, so he'll be marking one of the tight ends, probably Cook, which
Did
could
say
be
you
some
like
opportunities
Austin
for Kendricks.
Davis. You do like him as
I do like Austin Davis as one of those crappy garbage time fantasy quarterbacks.
So someone's got to catch those garbage time passes. Why can't it be Lance?
Why can't it be Kenny Britt? Oh, wait, because Kenny Britt's no longer an NFL player.
Terrible.
Oh, wait, he's still in St. Louis?
I think.
Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, coming after the break, we're talking weekend winners for Week 9 of the NFL season, and you're listening to the Star Fantasy League Show on 105.5 The Team.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at starfantasyleagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League Show with Jonathan, Zach, and Nick. Only on The Team.
Wrong and wrong this time. We're here on the Star Fantasy League Show with Jonathan, Footer, and Jason Gringer making his triumphant return to the show. Not so triumphant, though.
No?
No.
Not good?
No.
I thought
You got to pick it up.
Disappointing?
I think you've done a fantastic job.
Thank you.
I like to boost company morale.
Yeah, no. You're not supposed. You're fired. You're fired for boosting company morale. That's what happens here on the Star Fantasy League Show. Not true. We're talking about weekend winners on StarFantasyLeagues.com for Week 9 of the NFL season. How depressing. We're over halfway done.
Really?
We're gonna be halfway done.
You just made me realize that.
I know, right? Isn't that depressing?
Sad.
Yeah.
That's why we had the third season award. Now we're gonna have the half season awards next week, and then we're gonna continue doing that.
Well, we have playoffs, so it's
Playoffs.
it's still a little bit. I mean,
I'm depressed.
How many weeks is
Can we stop
the
this?
total
I'm
season?
getting really depressed right now. All right, let's talk about weekend winners. We're gonna pick the top player, regardless of salary, that's gonna put the most points on StarFantasyLeagues.com for this week. You're just gonna quickly tell us who it is, tell us why you think, and then we have to get to the best part of the show. Put your boxing gloves on. It's time for Would You Rather, right? Would you rather?
Would
is
I?
one? Huh?
Would I rather?
No, what? Stop
Would
it.
you
Stop
rather?
ruining the game, Jason. Just because you leave a while, you don't get to make sarcastic remarks about the form. God.
I wasn't.
Rude. All right, let's talk weekend winners for quarterback position. It's Brian Hoyer, right?
All day, baby.
I don't think so. Who you got, Jason?
I'm going Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, he comes back on the show. Jason Gringer loves to pick team or players from teams that he likes. You do this every single. You picked Oakland Athletics every time you filled in for baseball, and you pick Golden State Warriors when you're here for basketball.
Well, I like it. He went off against them last time in St. Louis.
Yeah, he ran all over them, didn't he?
Well, no, he only had 37 yards rushing that game.
Oh no, that was Russell Wilson that ran all over his team.
Yeah, but he did have 30 fantasy points. He threw for 343 yards and 3 touchdowns.
And that's like a unicorn. That's so rare.
Yeah.
He can't throw the ball.
St. Louis is 25th against the quarterbacks, so I like the matchup.
Nice,
and he's
nice
a
little
decent
matchup.
price, 17,000.
True.
Not bad. I got to go Russell Wilson against Oakland. I picked him last week to be the top play, and that didn't work out, so I'm going to try again this week. He's under 20,000. I think if you're going to spend the money at quarterback, I think it's worth it there. So.
Speaking of top quarterbacks this week, I hate him. He dresses up like an idiot, and he also takes pictures with goats. It's Tom Brady, 17,653, playing Denver at home. Whenever he's playing against Peyton Manning, he just goes to that next level, especially when he is at home. This isn't a winter game. This is going to be a normal temperature, well, sort of normal temperature game.
It's cold, yeah.
Cold, but not like 2 degrees cold.
Snowstorms, yeah.
He's really turned it on the last few
He
weeks.
has. I think it has something to do with the fact that Tim Wright knows the playbook now. Gronk is playing 100% again.
And
he
they have
trusts
no
LaFleur.
running backs.
That
Really.
does help, yes.
Yeah.
That does help.
So he's just been passing all the time.
Yeah, he knows how to throw the ball.
He does.
Dink and dunk. That's Tom Brady's thing. All right, let's talk about weekend winners for the running back position. I'm going to go with – I'm stealing it. I'm stealing it from you. Nah, actually, I won't steal it. Go ahead, Jason.
Well, why don't you go first?
Because I was going to say Arian Foster, but everybody else wants to pick Arian Foster, right?
I'm going to take Marshawn Lynch.
Are you really? Fine.
Oh,
You know what? There's a reason Arian Foster went from like 15 – no, sorry. We picked him as a value play of the week 4 or 5 weeks ago at 11,000. He is now 21,000 on StarFantasy.com. He is scoring over 20 fantasy points every single week easily.
Yeah, luckily I drafted him on a couple season-long teams,
Yum,
like
yum.
the 3rd or 4th round.
Really?
Which was pretty crazy. I mean, he fell pretty hard because he had the injury concerns in the preseason, but now he's like the steal of the draft.
Correct.
But, yeah.
Well, it depends what time you drafted. If you drafted right after Le'Veon Bell was arrested, then he was the steal of the draft because he was dropping to the 3rd round because people are morons.
Mm-hmm. Both of them. Big steals.
Correct.
Yeah, so I like Lynch against the Raiders there, second to last against the run. And his price is nice, $13,000.
Yep, not to mention Oakland, I will guarantee this now, will be down big in this game. Marshawn will be running. Although it depends. Is he going to be a jerk and like get himself taken out of this game somehow?
He could. He hasn't had the best of weeks the last few after having huge, the first 4 weeks.
He's a jerk.
Put
He's
up
a
some
jerk.
big numbers.
That's all I got. He's a jerk.
Yeah.
Can't deal with
It's
it.
probably from playing in Buffalo all those years.
It's tainted. He's like tainted meat. Poor guy.
I had Lynch as well down, but I have another guy that I'll go with. I mean, how can you go wrong with DeMarco Murray? He's got 8 straight games of 100 yards. We thought he was going to falter against a pretty decent run defense last week in Washington.
He's playing a really good one again this week. Arizona's been they've been pretty
Shady
good.
McCoy had a nice day on Sunday for being a better run defense. I don't think you can go against DeMarco Murray for what the production he's done this season.
As long as they give him the carries.
That's
like
true.
They didn't do last week.
He's still got
stopped
decent
feeding
amount
him.
of carries, and he still was a factor, and he's a factor in the pass game too. So
Yeah.
I don't think you can go wrong with him.
This is true. One out of the box one, I think Jamal Charles is going to have a monster week against the Jets.
Interesting.
I think he's going to be because I think
So it's going to be bad Jets run defense.
No, I actually think they're going to be good against the run, but I think Alex Smith is going to be in trouble a lot, and he like when he gets pressured, he loves to throw the ball to Jamal
All right,
Charles.
fair enough.
Well, we saw what a similar runner Ronnie Hillman did against the Jets. Small guy. He had like 130 yards or something against them. So.
I just think overall total yards. I don't know whether there's going to be a little bit of running and a lot of receiving yards, but I think that Jamal Charles is going to have the points to have a good day.
To go along with that, we saw what Booby Dixon did as well.
Booby.
Put him in.
And he didn't do anything. Wide receiver weekend winner.
Had to get that in
Who do you
there.
got, Footer?
I got T.Y. Hilton. I mean, after what he did last week,
Hold on. Did I not say that either Antonio Brown
You
or
did.
T.Y. Hilton would be the weekend
And
winner?
they were
for wide
like 1 and
receiver?
3,
They were
I
like
think?
2 and 3, I think.
yeah, something like that.
Like, somebody had a garbage
He's
week
only at
against
4
Jets.
Jeremy Maclin.
There you go.
Boom.
Somebody had beat him by a little bit.
Who's another guy who I think might have a big week, but he's under 15,000 for the production that he's getting. I think it's obvious against a bad Giants secondary.
Especially if Reggie Wayne doesn't play.
Yeah.
Especially if he doesn't play.
Yeah.
Love him.
He's a must-start if Wayne doesn't play.
Correct. Yeah.
I like Des Bryant as mine.
Really?
Going up. We saw what Macklin did last week against Arizona.
Yeah.
And the
Their
question
secondary
is,
hasn't been good. I don't get it.
No, Romo, is he gonna play? Is he gonna sit this one out?
Yeah, I don't know what that whole deal is.
Brandon Whedon was throwing Bryant's way a lot last week
well,
on that one drive.
yeah, he sees that big guy. He's like, oh, that guy's good at football. Just give him the ball. Make me look like $1 million.
Didn't they play together in Oklahoma State?
They
or
did.
No?
Oh, ew. Did they really?
So they've got that connection.
Oh, no. Where's Colt McCoy? Keep him away from him. Oh, God. All right. I'm going to go out of the box and just say someone in the New England-Denver game will be the wide receiver of the week. I don't know if it's going to be Emmanuel Sanders or if it's going to be Brandon LaFell. I do not think it's going to be Demaryius Thomas, though. Demaryius
Thought you were
Thomas
going to take
he's
Brown.
not. What?
Thought you were going to go Antonio.
No.
Your boy.
No.
He usually doesn't pick them.
No.
Once
I'm
in a
not a
while.
homer. I'm not a homer. I realize he probably will be one of the top, but not the top this week. You know what? I'm going to say it. Emmanuel Sanders. Drop Sanders will be number 1 this week. All right? Sound about right? 3 touchdowns again?
Yep.
No, too much. All right, last one. All right, we get defense, too. Ugh. Tight end, winner of the week. Is it anybody but Gronk?
No.
There we go. Perfect. We did not rehearse that at all. That actually happened naturally. I have Travis Kelce as a little sneaky one against the Jets. Again, I think Alex Smith's going to get pressured quite a bit in this game.
And they gave up 2 touchdowns to Gates last week, so
That's exactly where I was leaning. I think that they have no secondary at all, and Kansas City doesn't have really good deep weapons at all, and Kelsey's been pretty good for this team.
I was talking about Denver giving up 2 touchdowns to Gates.
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay.
Well, you could go to the other side of the ball, too. You're pretty much saying anybody in New England, Denver. I think
Yep.
Julius Thomas might have a bounce-back week. New England, has been beaten by a couple tight ends this year, so they're not the best against tight ends.
he's kind of been the forgotten man there.
Yeah.
After the started out great.
9 touchdowns through 6 games, I think it was.
Something like that.
And then
Yeah.
nothing. The
Yeah,
last few
nothing
weeks.
the last 2 weeks. He has a total of like 50 receiving yards. That's it.
Quickly, let's talk about defenses. We talk about the same three matchups. When you're streaming and season long, you look for certain teams. Jacksonville, Oakland, and the Jets play against them in defense.
Cincinnati, Seattle,
And Casey?
Kansas City.
Yeah, those are the three teams you should play, right?
Those are the ones.
Cincinnati, Kansas City.
And
that's
their
what I have.
prices are nice for Cincy and Seattle. They're all $2,300.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Love it.
Perfect. Put in some defenses against crappy teams. You will almost always do
Look
well.
what Miami did last week.
Yeah, Miami had 2 pick sixes last week. Hey,
Huge.
Blake Bortles, thanks for my fantasy points.
He's allowed like 6 pick sixes this year.
He's basically Matt Schaub.
Yeah.
He's the rookie version of Matt
Yes.
Schaub. He's like, have a touchdown. You're good. He's like Oprah throwing out free touchdowns to everybody.
You get one. You get
you
one.
get a pick six. You get a pick six. All right, we're done with weekend winners on StarFantasyLeagues.com, which means it is time to put your gloves on, boys. We're doing Would You Rather. I gave you 2 names and 2 similar prices, and you guys fight to the death.
To the death.
Yeah, all right. First one's Carson Palmer, 17,159, or Ben Roethlisberger, 17,113. That's Roethlisberger.
I'll let you start since you're the
Oh.
other way team.
He's the defending champion. Footer's the defending champion because I rigged it, but whatever.
I'm going Carson Palmer, which is kind of out of the box. Dallas has been pretty good against the pass, but I think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
Carson Palmer has been on since he got back.
He has.
Since last year, basically. He's been rejuvenated in Arizona.
Yeah, I like him.
I don't expect Roethlisberger to have quite the type of week he had last week, but I still think
Wow,
he's going
thanks for that, Footer.
I still think he's going to be having a better game than Carson Palmer. He's got Le'Veon Bell catching the ball out of the backfield now, so he has lots of options there. I don't see how this isn't.
Footer pandered to me, which means he wins automatically.
Boom.
Next one's RG3.
Gotta learn the way.
RG3 if he plays, 14,918, or Alex Smith, 14,057.
Alex Smith. Easy.
RG3.
What do you mean easy? Hold on, I want to hear whether this is easy.
Playing against the Jets defense, last week Kyle Orton went 10 for 17 for 4 touchdowns and 230 yards.
But that's the almighty
that's-
Kyle Orton. Oh, wait,
I mean, I see Kyle Orton and Alex Smith kind of as the same player. Orton turns the ball over a little bit more, but they remind me of basically the same guy. I believe Kyle Orton was in Kansas City at one point as well.
Well, Alex Smith, he's had that shoulder issue that came out, right, this past week. He's had a little shoulder strain. I'm liking RG3 to bounce back. He saw what Colt McCoy did last week. He's going to want to come out and prove that he's still the starter there in Washington. He's going to run around there and
when you need to
outside
prove,
He
Minnesota.
won't last the game.
when you need to prove yourself over Colt McCoy, things are not looking up for you. Not at all.
Point for Matt.
All right. Wow. Marshawn Lynch, 13,484, or Andre Ellington, who we haven't mentioned today somehow, 13,765. He's another one of my sneaky running back top plays.
I do like Ellington, but I got to go Lynch in this matchup for sure. I said he was one of my weekend winners.
Yeah, don't be a flip-flopper.
No.
Nick's not on the show today. Don't be a flip-flopper.
Marshawn, Skittles. Bring them Skittles back.
Yeah, this is a game where, I mean, I can make the point for Ellington. Morris had an okay game against Dallas' defense last week, but I think I have Lynch as my top guy for running back, so I have to.
You
agree
just
with
tried
him.
to make a point.
I'll
but
give him
you-
the point.
He gets the point.
No problem.
All right, one more.
I'm not going to argue against it.
Yeah. Oh, that's the whole point of the game.
Not
What's wrong
when
with
it's
you?
Andre Ellington.
That's true. All right, Shane Vereen, 9603, or Ronnie Hillman, 9272. I was foreshadowing earlier.
I don't like Vereen, what he's going to be doing for the rest of the season. I think he hit his peak a couple weeks ago. I love what Hillman's basically been doing coming in this backup role. He's finally got his chance. He's in a Peyton Manning offense. There's no way he's not going to outproduce Shane Vereen this week.
Yeah, Hillman's the man.
Boom, point for me.
Wow, that's
all I have to
I would
say.
say that was a great point that you just made. That's Footer's point. Steve Smith Sr., I have to say his full name, 13,146, or A.J. Green for 12,778 if he plays.
Who's Steve Smith Jr.?
His kid. He just had a child. That's why he changed his name.
But does he really need to announce himself as senior in the NFL?
No, it's really annoying. It screwed up our scoring on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Thank you so much, Steve Smith, for being a jerk.
Go AJ Green.
All right, coming up after the break, we will actually tell you the answer to that question.
I'll give you my opinion.
And we'll have the rest of Would You Rather. And you listen to the Star Fantasy League Show on 105.5 The Team.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League Show. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about Steve Smith Sr., Jr., Steve Smith? I don't know who the hell this guy is now. Or A.J. Green for who you think will have a better week on StarFantasyLeagues.com.
It depends if Green's going to play.
Okay. It's hinging
That's
on
the
him
old Seth
playing.
Young right there.
Yeah, it's hinging on if he plays.
Yes.
If he doesn't play, we'll throw Sanu in there.
All
Either
right.
or. It's
Sanu. I'm going
Yeah?
Sanu, Cincinnati against Jacksonville.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Sanu, Green, the combo, one or the other. Just because I don't like Steve Smith's name. I'm not referring to him as senior anymore.
okay, fine. What do you got?
Senior will have the bigger week because Pittsburgh is just giving up offense to anybody. Dante Moncrief lit them up last week, and I think Senior is a better player than Dante
Quick,
Moncrief.
name the starting corner when Cortez Allen gets benched. Exactly.
Nobody cares.
Radio silence.
Wow, I wanted to give you the point, Jason, because he ragged on Pittsburgh's secondary, but they are garbage. Yeah, Ike Taylor's been sorely missed. Somehow Ryan Clark has been sorely missed in this secondary, which makes no sense. He's terrible. Terrible. He just runs his mouth a lot. All right, I digress. John Brown, 88-83, or Odell Beckham, 87-15.
I love Brown, man. What
What can he do for
Deshaun
you?
Ja- yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. Nice. I love what Deshaun Jackson did on Monday Night Football, hitting that deep ball. John Brown's that same type of player. I think he caught a 70-yard pass last week from Carson Palmer. I think Brown's definitely the option there.
ODB. They're going to be down. He's going to be getting a lot of
ODB.
passes, I think. Little short, little dinkers, which Manning's good at throwing those.
Yeah, he's good at throwing the wobbly ones, too.
Yes, the little crossers over the middle.
All right, this one's the big question of the week. Rob Gronkowski, 13,921, or Julius Thomas, 12,742.
I think we're pretty much in consensus. It's going to be
I think
Gronk.
we all went Gronk
Yeah.
very quickly and agreed.
That's a push
so
right there.
Gronk
We're
spike.
moving along. Because Footer said it's a push, it's not a push. Jordan Reed, 7,490, or Heath Miller, 7,099.
Jordan Reed. He's my man.
Do you trust him with RG3?
I trust him.
Jordan Reed the last couple weeks has kind of been, He hasn't found the end zone. He hasn't
Heath
found the end zone
Miller had a
since-
huge game last week. I think he's going to come down to earth. He's going
At
to have one
home.
of his one or two catch games.
He's doing well at home this season.
Miller is Roethlisberger's boy. He's his safety blanket. Whenever, Roethlisberger's got three guys wrapped around him, he finds them. Miller's definitely the option there.
What are we talking about? Three guys wrapped around him?
Yeah.
What is going on right now on this show?
Well, it is Ben Roethlisberger, so.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. And you lose another point for insulting my boy. What are you doing? You know better than that. All right, last two. Gio Bernard, 13,976. Again, if he plays. Or Emmanuel Sanders, 14,239. I know that it is Jacksonville, but I don't think they want to rest him. They're not comfortable at all in this race.
Jeremy Hill's looked good. They could rest him if they wanted to. It's Jacksonville. Got to like Sanders. It's going to be a high-scoring game, I think. I don't know if he'll catch another 3 touchdowns.
I know, whoa, but God forbid we get – well, pretty much every week somebody's catching multiple touchdowns for Denver, isn't it? It's either one of the Thomases or Sanders.
You could see Sanders just not do much this week, just because Payton likes to spread it around. You could see Wes Welker catch 3 touchdowns against New England, his former team there.
No.
I think Bernard's the option. You saw what Lamar Miller did against Jacksonville's defense last week. He catch the ball. He can run the ball. It's Giovanni Bernard.
Oliver's like, yeah, matter of fact, it's definitely. All right, and the last one. You guys are actually tied. I'm not doing this like willy-nilly. I'm actually giving you points. The points don't matter. This is a game. It doesn't count. So last one, Antonio Brown, 18,105, or Arian Foster, $21,000.
Got to go with Antonio Brown. The guy is
All
leading
right.
the receiving corps in the NFL right now. He's just been lights out. Big play Brown all day.
Foster, baby, all day.
And Jason dethrones the champion.
I went with your boy. You shut him down?
You're wrong. It's Arian. The correct answer is Arian Foster.
So you hate your team is what you're saying.
No, that's not true at all. Play on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Week 9 contest, over $15,000 in guaranteed prize pools. Free 14 is the bonus code, 100% to $2,000 deposit bonus, and an $11 credit directly into your account. And if you know where Kenny Britt's been hiding the past 9 weeks, seriously, please tweet us at SFL Show. I have no idea. I'm worried. Sick. Take it easy, guys.